Kate Brennan's hand trembled on her rifle as she watched 3 terrified girls being dragged toward the auction platform. The youngest one screamed for her dead mother. The eldest tried to shield her sisters with her thin body. And Kate, widow survivor woman who'd kept silent for 3 years while evil ruled her town, felt something inside her chest crack wide open. She'd promised her dying husband she'd never fight back. She'd promised herself she'd stay invisible, stay safe. She was about to break both promises. Before we begin this journey together, please subscribe and follow this story to the very end. Comment below with your city, so I can see how far this message of hope has traveled across our great country. Now let's start from the beginning. The September sun beat down merciless on the Wyoming Territory town square, but Kate Brennan felt ice in her veins. She'd come for supplies. Flour coffee, winter feed for the horses. She hadn't come for this. The crowd pressed close around the wooden platform. Dusty ranchers, shopkeepers, women in faded calico who couldn't meet anyone's eyes. Everyone knew what was happening. Everyone pretended they didn't. Lot 42. The auctioneer's voice carried across the square like a whip crack. 3 healthy girls, ages 7 to 14. Kate's fingers tightened on her shopping list until the paper crumpled. On the platform, 3 sisters stood holding hands. The eldest, maybe 14, had copper hair that caught the sunlight and eyes that burned with defiance, even as her body shook. The middle girl, 11 or so, kept her head down, dark hair falling like a curtain. The youngest couldn't have been older than 7, clutching a carved wooden horse and crying silently. Perfect for domestic service, the auctioneer continued. Or light mine work, strong backs all of 'em. Mine work. Kate's stomach turned. She knew exactly what that meant. She'd buried enough children from Magnus Thornton's mines. Starting bid $20 for the lot. A man in an expensive suit stepped forward. Magnus Thornton himself, owner of half the territory and every corrupt official in it. $50, Thornton said. His voice was smooth, cultured. The voice of a man who'd never dug ore or felt hunger. I'll take all 3. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Everyone knew what happened to children in Thornton's mines. Kate's feet moved before her mind caught up. 100. The crowd parted as she walked through. Conversations died. People stepped back like she carried plague. The auctioneer squinted down at her. Mrs. Brennan, that you? $100, Kate repeated louder. For all 3. Thornton turned to face her. Up close, he was handsome in the way a snake was beautiful, elegant, and deadly. Mrs. Brennan, I didn't realize you were in the market for help. I'm not in the market for anything. I'm stopping you from murdering children. A collective gasp rippled through the square. Thornton's smile never wavered. Strong words. 150. 200. Mrs. Brennan. The auctioneer interrupted nervously. That's 6 months' wages. Did I stutter? Kate's voice cut like broken glass. 200. Cash. Right now. Thornton studied her with eyes like chips of stone. You're making a mistake. I've made bigger ones and survived. Your husband didn't. The world went very quiet. Kate's hand moved toward the rifle slung across her back, but she stopped herself. Barely. That was a threat, she said softly. Everyone heard it. That was a fact. Thornton stepped closer. Robert Brennan challenged me. 3 years later, he's dead. You're challenging me now. Think carefully about what comes next. Kate met his stare without flinching. 200. Final offer. Take it or get out of my way. The auctioneer looked between them, terrified. Mr. Thornton. Thornton's jaw tightened. 300. 500. Kate pulled a leather pouch from her coat and threw it on the platform. Coins spilled out, glinting in the sun. That's every dollar I have. Every single one. But it's yours if you walk away from these girls right now. The crowd erupted in whispers. Thornton stared at the money. $500 was more than most families saw in 2 years. You'd bankrupt yourself for children you don't even know. Yes. Why? Kate looked up at the 3 girls on the platform. The eldest was staring at her with desperate hope. The youngest had stopped crying. Because someone has to, Kate said. And I'm tired of pretending I don't see evil just because fighting it might cost me something. Thornton's face went dark. You'll regret this. I've regretted doing nothing for 3 years. This is different. He turned to the auctioneer. Take her money. Give her the children. His voice dripped venom. We'll see how long she can keep them. The auctioneer grabbed the coins with shaking hands. Sold to Mrs. Kate Brennan. Kate climbed onto the platform. Up close, the girls were worse than she'd thought. Bones visible through threadbare dresses, bruises on their arms, hollow eyes that had seen too much. What are your names? Kate asked quietly. The eldest spoke first. Rose Morrison. This is my sister Lily. And Violet. Rose, Lily, Violet. Kate nodded. Pretty names. Your parents chose well. They're dead. Rose's voice was flat protective. Our uncle was supposed to take care of us. He sold us instead. Kate's hands clenched into fists. Where is he? Ran soon as he got his money. Said we weren't his problem anymore. He was right about one thing. You're not his problem. Kate met Rose's eyes. You're mine now. That acceptable to you? Rose's defiance cracked slightly. What do you want from us? Honestly, I don't know yet, but I know what he wanted. Kate gestured toward Thornton, who was watching from across the square. And it wasn't life. It was slow death. Why should we trust you? Rose's voice shook. Everyone else has hurt us. You shouldn't trust me, not yet. Kate held out her hand. But come with me anyway. Because staying here means going to his mines. And nobody comes back from those. Rose looked at her sisters. Lily nodded slightly. Violet just stared at Kate with enormous eyes. We stay together, Rose said firmly. All 3 of us. Always. All 3 of you. Always. Kate's throat tightened. You have my word. Rose took her hand. Kate helped them down from the platform. The crowd parted again, some faces sympathetic, most carefully neutral. Nobody wanted to anger Thornton by showing support, except one. Kate, a woman's voice called out. Dr. Elizabeth Hayes pushed through the crowd. She was 40-something, gray-streaked hair pulled back severe, wearing a man's riding coat, because women's clothes weren't practical for doctoring. Elizabeth. Kate nodded. Those girls need medical attention. Dr. Hayes looked at the sisters. When's the last time you ate? Yesterday morning, Lily whispered. Jesus. Dr. Hayes turned to Kate. Take them to my office. I'll examine them, make sure there's no... She glanced at the girls, chose her words carefully. No serious damage. I can't pay you. I just spent everything. Did I ask for payment? Dr. Hayes's eyes softened. What you just did took more courage than this town's seen in years. Least I can do is make sure they're healthy. Kate's eyes burned. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just keep them alive. Dr. Hayes lowered her voice. Thornton won't let this go. Let him come. They walked through town toward Dr. Hayes's office, a converted storefront with E. Hayes Physician painted on the window. People stared. Some whispered. Most looked away. Inside the office smelled like carbolic acid and dried herbs. Dr. Hayes gestured to an examination table. Rose, you first. Your sisters can wait here. Rose looked at Kate. You'll stay? I'm not going anywhere. The examination took 20 minutes. When Rose emerged, her face was carefully blank. Dr. Hayes called Lily next, then Violet. Finally, Dr. Hayes pulled Kate aside. They're malnourished, dehydrated, and covered in bruises. Nothing broken, thank God. But another month with whoever had them, She didn't finish the sentence. "They're safe now," Kate said. "Are they?" Dr. Hayes met her eyes. "You made an enemy today, Kate. The most dangerous man in the territory. I made an enemy 3 years ago when I didn't speak up about what he did to Robert. Maybe if I'd fought then, you'd be dead too. Don't blame yourself for surviving. Surviving isn't enough anymore." Kate looked at the 3 girls huddled together on a wooden bench. "I'm done surviving." Dr. Hayes handed her a small bottle. "Tonic, twice daily until they gain weight. And Kate," she gripped Kate's shoulder, "what you did today was right. Whatever comes next, remember that." Kate nodded, not trusting her voice. They left the office and headed toward Kate's wagon. The sun was lower now, painting the dirt street gold. Evening was coming fast. Kate loaded the girls into the wagon bed and climbed onto the driver's bench. The horses knew the way home 5 miles west toward the mountains. They rode in silence for the first mile. Then Rose spoke from behind her. "Where are you taking us?" "My ranch. Brennan Ranch. It's small. Just me and one hired hand, but it's safe." "What will we do there?" Kate considered her answer carefully. "Work, I suppose. There's always work on a ranch. Cooking, cleaning, mending. But also learning. Can you read?" "Mama taught us." Rose's voice cracked on the word. "Before she died." "Then we'll keep teaching. Reading, writing, arithmetic. My husband always said education was the only thing nobody could take from you." Kate paused. "And I'll teach you to shoot." "Shoot?" Lily's voice, soft and surprised. "Women who can't protect themselves are prey. You'll never be prey again." Kate glanced back. "That agreeable?" The 3 sisters exchanged looks. "Yes, ma'am," Rose said quietly. "Don't call me ma'am. Makes me feel old. My name's Kate." "Yes, ma'am." Rose caught herself. "Kate." The wagon rolled on through the prairie grass. Violet had fallen asleep, head on Lily's shoulder. Lily stared at the landscape with artist's eyes cataloging everything. Rose sat rigid still, waiting for the trap to spring. Kate understood. She'd felt that way for 3 years, waiting for the other shoe to drop for Thornton to finish what he'd started with Robert. Maybe today was the shoe dropping. Or maybe, God willing, maybe today was the beginning of something different. They crested a rise, and the ranch came into view. It wasn't much. Single-story log house with a stone chimney. Small barn corral chicken coop. 1,000 acres of grazing land that Robert had fought to keep. But it was home. A man emerged from the barn as they approached. 50-something, weathered face, dark eyes that missed nothing. He wore simple ranch clothes and a wide-brimmed hat that shadowed his face. "Kate?" He nodded. "You're late. I was about to—" He saw the girls and stopped. "What's this?" "Sam, meet Rose, Lily, and Violet Morrison." Kate climbed down from the wagon. "They'll be living here now." Sam Chen looked at Kate for a long moment. 3 years working together had taught him to read her moods. "What did you do?" he asked quietly. "Something stupid. Or maybe the first smart thing in 3 years. Thornton. He wanted to buy them for his mines. I outbid him." Sam closed his eyes. "How much?" "Everything." "Jesus, Kate. Everything. Every dollar." Sam looked at the girls again, thin, scared, watching this exchange with growing alarm. "Well," he said finally, "guess we better get them fed then." Kate felt something in her chest unclench slightly. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. You just started a war you might not be able to win." "I know." Sam helped the girls down from the wagon. Violet woke startled, and Rose immediately moved to shield her. "It's all right," Kate said gently. "Sam works for me. He's safe." "That's what they all say," Rose muttered. "Smart girl." Sam's voice held approval. Never trust anyone right away. Make them earn it. Rose's defiance softened slightly. They went inside. The house was simple main room with a fireplace kitchen area, 2 bedrooms and a loft, clean but sparse. A man's house or a widow's. You girls can wash up at the pump outside, Kate said. Sam, can you start dinner? Something filling. On it. While Sam worked in the kitchen, Kate showed the girls where things were: washroom, bedrooms, extra blankets. You'll share the spare room, Kate said. There's 1 bed, but it's big enough for 3. Tomorrow we'll see about building another. Where will you sleep? Lily asked. Same place I've slept for 3 years. Other bedroom. Rose's eyes narrowed. And Sam? Loft. He prefers it, says the height helps him keep watch. Keep watch for what? Kate met Rose's gaze steadily. Threats. We've had trouble before. Because of us. No. Because of my husband. But that's a story for another time. Kate handed Rose clean towels. Right now you need to wash. Dinner in 30 minutes. The girls went outside. Through the window, Kate watched them at the pump, Rose helping Violet, Lily standing guard. They moved like soldiers, like survivors. Sam appeared at her shoulder. You sure about this? No. Thornton will come for them. Let him try. Kate. I know what I did, Sam. Kate turned to face him. I know what it costs, but I saw those girls on that platform, and I saw Robert. I saw every person I didn't fight for every time I looked away, because fighting was too dangerous, too expensive, too hard. And now I'm done looking away. Sam studied her face. Your husband would be proud. My husband would tell me I'm an idiot, then he'd help me anyway. Sounds about right. Sam returned to the stove. I'm making stew and biscuits and apple cobbler because those girls look like they haven't had dessert in a year. We can't afford. I'll manage. Got some credit at the store still. Won't last long if we're feeding 5 instead of 2. Then we'll figure it out. Sam stirred the pot. We always do. The girls came back inside slightly cleaner, still wary. They sat at the table in silence while Sam served food. Kate watched them eat. They tried to pace themselves to eat like civilized people, but hunger won. They devoured the stew, the biscuits, the cobbler. Violet ate until she looked sick. Slow down, Kate said gently. There's more. You won't go hungry here. Rose set down her spoon. Why are you doing this? Doing what? Feeding us, giving us a home, spending all your money. Rose's voice shook. What do you want from us? Kate set down her own spoon. An honest question deserves an honest answer. I don't know what I want. I saw you being sold like livestock and I couldn't. Her voice cracked. I couldn't walk away. Maybe that's stupid. Maybe I just bankrupted myself for 3 strangers. But I'd rather be stupid and broke than smart and complicit. Complicit in what? Lily asked. In a system that treats children like property, that lets men like Thornton profit from suffering. Kate met each girl's eyes in turn. My husband died fighting that system. I did nothing. For 3 years I hid here and did nothing. Today I stopped hiding. So we're your redemption. Rose's voice was bitter. Your way of making up for what you didn't do. Maybe, partially. Kate didn't flinch from the accusation. But you're also 3 human beings who deserve better than what you were getting. You deserve names, not numbers, choices, not orders, a future that isn't a grave at 16. Violet spoke for the first time since the auction. Papa said everyone deserves freedom, even little girls. Kate's throat tightened. Your papa was right. He died in Mr. Thornton's mine. Violet's voice was small matter of fact. There was an accident. Papa said it wasn't really an accident. He said Mr. Thornton didn't fix the supports because it cost too much money. And then the tunnel fell. Kate's hands clenched into fists under the table. Mama died after, Violet continued. She just stopped eating, Stop talking. One day she went to sleep and didn't wake up. And your uncle, Kate asked gently, said we were a burden. Rose's voice was flat. Said he'd find us positions. We didn't know that meant selling us. She laughed bitterly. Stupid. We should have known. You're not stupid. You're children. You trusted someone who should have protected you. Kate leaned forward. That's not stupidity. That's hope. Don't let him kill that. Rose's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. Hope is dangerous. So is despair. Choose your danger. They finished dinner in silence. Sam cleared plates while Kate showed the girls their room, the bed with clean quilts, the dresser with spare clothes, the window that looked toward the mountains. There's a chamber pot under the bed, Kate said. Outhouse is behind the barn. Don't go out alone at night, we've had wolf trouble. Wolves. Lily's voice went small. They're more scared of you than you are of them, but better safe. Kate paused at the door. Get some rest. Tomorrow we'll talk about chores, lessons, routines. Tonight just sleep. You're safe here. Are we? Rose asked. Really safe? Kate thought about Thornton's face at the auction, the cold promise in his eyes. I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe, she said finally. That's the best I can promise. After the girls were settled, Kate found Sam on the porch. He was smoking his pipe, staring at the horizon. They're good kids, he said quietly. Been through hell. I know. We can't feed 5 people on what this ranch brings in. I know that too. And Thornton won't let this stand. He'll come after you. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but he'll come. Kate sat beside him. Let him come. You say that now. Wait until it's happening. I've been waiting for 3 years, Sam. Waiting for Thornton to finish what he started. Waiting to have enough courage to fight back. Waiting to feel like Robert's death meant something. She looked at the stars beginning to appear. I'm done waiting. Your husband would have done the same thing, you know. Seen those girls and bankrupted himself to save them. I know. That's why I loved him. And that's why he's dead. Kate flinched. Sam's voice softened. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to keep you alive. Robert fought Thornton and lost. What makes you think you'll fare better? Nothing. Maybe I won't. Kate stood. But those girls will have a chance. That's more than they had this morning. She went inside before Sam could respond. In the spare bedroom, Rose lay awake staring at the ceiling. Beside her, Lily and Violet had finally fallen asleep. Real sleep, not the half-awake terror they'd known for months. Rose didn't trust this. Didn't trust the soft bed, the full stomach, the woman who'd paid $500 for strangers. People didn't do things like that. Not in Rose's experience. There was always a cost, always something they wanted. She'd figure out what Kate Brennan wanted, and she'd protect her sisters when the truth came out. But tonight she let herself pretend. Pretend the bed was real, the safety was real, the hope was real. Just for tonight. Outside, Kate stood at her bedroom window, rifle propped against the wall within reach. She'd started something today, something that couldn't be undone. Thornton would retaliate. The town would judge. The costs would mount. But when she closed her eyes, she saw 3 girls on an auction platform. Saw the terror in their eyes. Saw the moment Rose took her hand and chose to trust. Whatever came next, war, ruin, death, Kate would face it. Because today, for the first time in 3 years, she'd done something that mattered. She'd stopped looking away. And she'd never look away again. Dawn came too early. Kate woke to the sound of chickens squawking murder outside her window. She grabbed her rifle by instinct and was halfway to the door before her mind caught up. Just chickens. Not Thornton. Not yet. She dressed quickly and found Sam already in the kitchen, coffee brewing. They're still asleep, he said quietly. Checked on them an hour ago. Let them rest. God knows they need it. Kate poured coffee hands steadier than she felt. Through the window, the sun was just breaking over the mountains. Pretty morning. Deceptive. What's the plan? Sam asked. Survive the day, then the next one. That's not a plan. That's hope. Hope's all I've got right now. Sam opened his mouth to respond, but footsteps on the stairs stopped him. Rose appeared dressed in yesterday's ragged dress hair braided tight. Morning, Kate said. Sleep well. No. Rose's voice was flat. What do you want us to do? Do. For work. You said we'd work for our keep. Kate set down her coffee. Rose, you've been here less than 12 hours. I don't care. We're not charity cases. Tell us what to do. Pride and fear mixed in those words. Kate recognized both. All right. Can you cook? Some. Mama taught me basics. Then help Sam with breakfast. Lily and Violet can gather eggs when they wake. After we eat, I'll show you around the ranch. Rose nodded stiffly and moved to the stove. Sam handed her a knife and potatoes without comment. They worked in silence, efficient. Lily and Violet came down 20 minutes later, looking lost. Kate sent them to the henhouse with a basket. They went together, Violet clutching Lily's hand. Breakfast was quiet. Eggs, potatoes, leftover biscuits. The girls ate like they expected the food to disappear. After this, Kate said, we'll do a tour. You need to know the property, where things are, what's safe, what isn't. What isn't safe? Lily asked. North Pasture has a ravine. Easy to miss if you're not watching. Creek floods in spring. And the tool shed, don't go in there without me or Sam. Some of the equipment is dangerous. Violet's eyes went wide. Like what? Saws, traps, ammunition. Things that can hurt you if you're not careful. Why do you have traps? Rose's voice was sharp with suspicion. Wolves, coyotes, sometimes worse. Kate met her gaze. This is frontier land, Rose. It's not forgiving. Neither are people. No, they're not. After breakfast, Kate led them outside. The morning was clear cold, promising heat later. She showed them the barn, 8 horses, 2 milk cows, hay storage. The chickens they'd already met. The vegetable garden half dead from neglect. The smokehouse, the root cellar, the well. Brennan Ranch is 1,000 acres, Kate explained. Most of it's grazing land for cattle. We run about 200 head. Not a big operation, but it's ours. Yours, Rose corrected. Not ours. Fair point. Kate stopped walking. Let me be clear. I don't own you. I bought your freedom, not your servitude. You want to leave, fine. I'll give you provisions and directions to the nearest town. But if you stay, you work. Everyone works here, including me. Doing what? Everything. Feeding animals, mending fences, hauling water, cooking, cleaning. Ranch work never ends. Kate looked at all 3 girls. It's hard. Sometimes it's dangerous. But it's honest. And it's yours if you want it. What if we don't want it? Rose challenged. Then tell me where you do want to go, and I'll take you there tomorrow. Rose opened her mouth, closed it. She had no answer because she had nowhere else to go. That's what I thought, Kate said quietly. So let's stop pretending you have options and start figuring out how to make this work. Lily spoke up. I can draw. Mama said I was good at it. Drawing's useful. We need maps of the property, diagrams for fence repairs. Think you could handle that? Lily's face lit up. Yes. Good. Violet, Sam tells me you were talking to the horses this morning. That true? Violet nodded shyly. Horses are good judges of character. They like you. You must be doing something right. Want to help with them. Really? Really? And Rose? Kate turned to the eldest. You're smart, protective, and you don't trust easily. All good qualities. I need someone who can keep track of supplies, inventory, what we need from town. Think you can do that? Rose's defiance wavered. Why would you trust me with that? Because you'll do it right. You won't let your sisters go hungry because you forgot to order flour. Kate paused. And because trust has to start somewhere. For the first time, Rose's armor cracked slightly. I won't let you down. I know. They spent the morning working. Rose inventoried the pantry with fierce concentration. Lily started sketching the ranch layout. Violet sat in the barn talking to a mare named Daisy, who nuzzled her gently. Kate watched them and felt something dangerous growing in her chest. Hope, maybe, or purpose. Around noon, a rider appeared on the horizon. Sam saw him first. Kate, company. Kate's hand went to her rifle. Girls, inside, now. What's wrong? Rose asked. Just go. The girls scattered into the house. Sam moved to Kate's side as the rider approached. It was Deputy James Harrison, young, maybe 28, wearing a badge that looked too heavy for his shoulders. Mrs. Brennan. He tipped his hat. Ma'am. Deputy. What brings you out here? Harrison dismounted nervous. Got a message from Sheriff Willis. He wants to see you, today. What about? Didn't say, just said it was urgent. Kate and Sam exchanged looks. The sheriff was Thornton's creature, everyone knew it. Tell the sheriff I'm busy. Ma'am, he wasn't asking. Neither am I. Kate's voice went cold. You want to arrest me, deputy? Then do it. Otherwise, I've got work to do. Harrison's face flushed. I'm just delivering a message. Message delivered. Anything else? He hesitated. Mrs. Brennan, I was there yesterday. At the auction. What you did. He stopped choosing words carefully. Not many people would have done that. Not many people have to live with themselves after doing nothing. Still, those girls are lucky. Those girls are survivors. Luck's got nothing to do with it. Harrison nodded and remounted. Sheriff won't like you ignoring him. Sheriff can come tell me himself if he's got a problem. After Harrison left, Sam turned to Kate. That was a mistake. What was antagonizing the law? The law's already antagonized. Might as well be honest about it. Inside, Rose stood by the window. Who was that? Deputy. Delivering threats disguised as messages. From Mr. Thornton. From his pet sheriff. Same thing. What are you going to do? Kate looked at Rose's frightened face and made a decision. I'm going to town, and you're coming with me. What? Rose's voice went high. Why? Because hiding won't help. Thornton needs to see you're thriving. Needs to see he doesn't scare me. But he should scare you, Lily said quietly. He scares everyone. That's the problem. Kate started toward the door. People are scared, so they do nothing. They watch children get sold and tell themselves it's not their business. They see injustice and look away because fighting might cost them something. It might cost you everything, Rose said. Then I'll lose everything. But at least I'll lose it fighting. They rode into town an hour later, Kate, Sam, and all three girls. Kate made sure they wore their new clothes clean and proper. Made sure they sat tall in the wagon. Town was quiet. Too quiet. People saw them coming and disappeared into shops. Doors closed, windows shuttered. They're afraid, Lily whispered. Good, Kate said. Fear means they're paying attention. They stopped at the general store. Kate needed supplies. Flour, sugar, salt, ammunition. Things she couldn't afford but couldn't live without. Inside, Mr. Peterson stood behind the counter. 60 years old, owned the store for 30. He looked at Kate with something like pity. Mrs. Brennan, I heard about yesterday. I imagine everyone heard. $100 says Thornton's not happy. $100 says I don't care. Peterson glanced at the girls, then back at Kate. I can't extend you credit anymore. Thornton's orders. Cash only. Kate's jaw tightened. I need supplies. I know, but Thornton owns the bank. Owns most of the businesses in town. He puts the word out, nobody'll trade with you. So you're cutting me off. I'm sorry, Kate. I've got a family. I can't afford to anger him. Kate set her list on the counter. How much for this cash? Peterson tallied it up. $32. Kate counted out coins. Exact amount. Her last money. This is wrong, Rose said suddenly. He's punishing you for helping us. Peterson wouldn't meet her eyes. It's business, Kate said quietly. Nothing personal. Everything's personal, Rose shot back. They loaded supplies into the wagon. Across the street, Kate saw Sheriff Willis watching from his office. He didn't approach, just watched. A test, Kate realized. Seeing if she'd fold, she wouldn't. As they left town, a woman stepped out from an alley. Dr. Elizabeth Hayes. Kate, wait. Kate pulled the wagon to a stop. Elizabeth. I heard about Peterson. About Thornton's orders. Dr. Hayes glanced around, then lowered her voice. I can't help publicly, but if you need medical supplies, medicine, anything, come to my back door after dark. I'll help however I can. Kate's throat tightened. You'll risk your practice. My practice doesn't mean much if I'm too coward to use it for good. Dr. Hayes touched Kate's hand briefly. You're not alone in this. Remember that. She disappeared back into the alley before Kate could respond. She's brave, Lily said softly. She's terrified, Kate corrected. But she's doing it anyway. That's what courage is. They rode home in silence. When they arrived, Sam had news. Someone was here while we were gone. Who? Don't know. But they left something. He led her to the barn, painted across the door in red, "Send them back or burn." The girls froze. Kate stared at the words, rage building in her chest. Sam, get paint. We're covering this. Kate. Now. They spent the next hour painting over the threat. White paint covering red. The girls helped, silent and scared. That night Kate couldn't sleep. She sat on the porch with her rifle watching the darkness. Sam joined her around midnight. You should rest. Can't. They're trying to scare you. It's working. You don't seem scared. I'm terrified. But being scared and giving up aren't the same thing. Sam lit his pipe. Your husband used to say something similar. Robert was an idiot. Got himself killed for saying things like that. You loved him anyway. I loved him because of it. Kate's voice broke slightly. He believed people could be better. That standing up mattered even when it was hopeless. I thought he was naive. Turns out he was right. He was right and dead. Think about that before you follow his path. I think about nothing else. Movement in the darkness made them both tense. Kate raised her rifle. A horse emerged from the shadows. Deputy Harrison alone. Don't shoot, he called. I'm alone. Kate kept the rifle aimed. State your business. Harrison dismounted slowly, hands visible. I came to warn you. Sheriff's planning something. Don't know what, but he's been meeting with Thornton all day. Something's coming. Why tell me? Because what you did was right, and what they're planning is wrong. Harrison's voice shook. I became a deputy to help people, but all I do is enforce Thornton's will. I'm tired of it. Then quit. I have family, a little brother to support. I can't. He stopped. I can't quit, but I can warn you. Kate lowered the rifle. When? Soon. Days, maybe. They're being careful, planning it legal. They'll come with paperwork, make it official. Paperwork for what? Taking the girls. They're going to claim you're an unfit guardian. Get a judge's order. Kate's blood went cold. What judge? Territorial Judge Blackwood. He's in Thornton's pocket. Everyone knows it. When's he coming through? Week from Friday. Thornton's petitioned for a hearing. Can I fight it? Not without a lawyer, and no lawyer in this territory will go against Thornton. Kate closed her eyes. Then I'll fight it myself. You'll lose. Maybe, but I'll fight anyway. Harrison nodded slowly. I'll do what I can. Give you warning before they come. It's not much, but it's more than most would do. Thank you." After Harrison left, Sam turned to Kate. "You heard him. You can't win this." "I can try." "Trying doesn't feed 3 girls when you lose the ranch." "I'm not losing anything." Kate stood. "Thornton wants a legal fight, fine. I'll give him one." "How, you don't even know what legal means in this context?" "Then I'll learn." The next week was brutal. Kate spent every spare moment reading law books borrowed from Dr. Hayes. Rose helped surprisingly good at finding relevant statutes. Lily drew courtroom diagrams. Violet just watched, silent and scared. Sam kept the ranch running, but the work was piling up. Fences needed mending, cattle needed moving. Winter was coming, and they weren't prepared. "We can't do this alone," Sam said on the 4th day. "We have to." "Kate." "We have to," she repeated, voice breaking. "Because there's no one else." But she was wrong. That night, a wagon appeared. Mary Alice Cooper from the saloon carrying supplies. "Heard you were cut off from Peterson's store," Mary Alice said. "Figured you needed these." She unloaded flour, sugar, coffee, dried meat. Enough for 2 weeks. "I can't pay you," Kate said. "Did I ask? Take it. And tell anyone who asks that you stole it. I can't afford to be seen helping." "Mary Alice, don't thank me, just keep those girls safe. Show this town that someone can stand up to Thornton and survive." She left before Kate could respond. 2 days later, Reverend Whitmore appeared, nervous, sweating, but determined. "Mrs. Brennan, I came to offer testimony for the hearing." Kate stared. "You'll testify against Thornton." "I'll testify for you, for those girls. It's what God would want." "God might want it, but Thornton will make you pay." "I've been paying in cowardice for years. Time I settled that debt." One by one they came. Dr. Hayes officially documenting the girls' improved health. A farmer named Cooper, who'd lost his own son to Thornton's mine. Even old Mrs. Henderson, who'd taught school before the town decided women couldn't be trusted with children's minds. "We'll testify," Mrs. Henderson said firmly. "All of us. We'll tell Judge Blackwood exactly what kind of man Thornton is." "He won't listen," Kate said. "He's bought and paid for." "Maybe, but we'll make him hear us anyway." The night before the hearing, Kate found Rose sitting on the porch, staring at nothing. "Can't sleep?" Kate asked. "What happens if we lose?" Kate sat beside her. "I don't know." "Will he take us back to the mines?" "Not while I'm breathing." "You can't fight a judge's order." "Watch me." Rose looked at her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Why are you doing this? Really? You could send us away, cut your losses, go back to your quiet life." "I don't want a quiet life, not anymore." "Why not?" Kate was quiet for a long moment. 3 years ago, my husband stood up to Thornton. Challenged him publicly about safety violations in the mines. That night, Robert went to meet someone who claimed to have proof. He never came home. Sheriff said it was an accident. Horse threw him, broke his neck. But I knew. Everyone knew. Thornton killed him. Thornton killed him, and I did nothing. I was so scared of losing everything else that I just stopped. Stopped fighting. Stopped caring. Stopped living. Until us. Until you. I saw you 3 on that platform, and I saw every person I didn't fight for. Every time I looked away, because it was easier. Safer. Kate's voice roughened. I can't bring Robert back. I can't undo 3 years of cowardice. But I can fight for you. And maybe that's enough. Rose was crying now. What if it's not? What if we lose and they take us anyway? Then we'll have tried, and that's more than I've done in 3 years. I'm scared. Me too. They sat together in the darkness, 2 survivors afraid of tomorrow. Inside, Lily and Violet were finally asleep. Sam was cleaning his rifle, preparing for war. And somewhere in town, Thornton was planning victory. The hearing was tomorrow. Everything would be decided. Kate closed her eyes and prayed to Robert's ghost. "I'm trying," she whispered. "I'm finally trying. I just hope it's enough." The wind carried her words away into the Wyoming night. No answer came. But morning would ready or not. Morning came with frost on the windows and dread in Kate's stomach. She dressed carefully, her best clothes, the ones she'd worn to Robert's funeral. Black wool dress, clean but worn. Hair pinned back severe. Armor for battle. In the kitchen, Sam had coffee ready. The girls sat at the table too nervous to eat. "You need food," Kate said. "Can't," Rose whispered. "I'll be sick." "Eat anyway. It's going to be a long day." They forced down bread and eggs. Nobody spoke. The only sound was Sam loading his rifle, checking ammunition. "You can't bring that to the hearing," Kate said. "Wasn't planning to, but I'll be nearby." Sam's eyes were hard. "Just in case." Deputy Harrison arrived at 8 with the wagon. He looked sick. "Judge Blackwood's already in town," he said quietly. "Thornton's been with him since dawn." "Of course he has." Kate helped the girls into the wagon. "Let's get this over with." The ride into town felt like riding to execution. People lined the streets watching, some sympathetic, most scared, a few openly hostile. "Troublemaker," someone shouted. "Should have minded her own business," another voice called. Rose flinched. Kate put a hand on her shoulder. "Let them talk. Words can't hurt us." "Words are all that matter today," Rose said. She wasn't wrong. The courthouse was packed. Every bench filled, people standing in the back. Kate recognized faces: shopkeepers, ranchers, farmers. Half the territory had shown up. Thornton sat at the front with 2 lawyers in expensive suits. He saw Kate and smiled like a wolf. Judge Cornelius Blackwood presided from the bench. 70 if he was a day face like carved granite. He'd been territorial judge for 20 years, serving whoever paid best. Right now, that was Thornton. "All rise," the bailiff called. "Court is now in session." They stood. Kate's legs trembled but held. "Case of Morrison Sisters custody determination," Judge Blackwood announced. "Mr. Magnus Thornton, petitioner, versus Mrs. Catherine Brennan, respondent. Mr. Thornton, you may present your case." Thornton's lead lawyer stood. Slick hair, slicker voice. "Your Honor, this is a simple matter of child welfare. 3 orphaned girls currently reside with Mrs. Brennan, a widow of questionable means and character. We contend that Mrs. Brennan obtained these children through coercion and false pretenses, and that she lacks the resources and moral standing to properly care for them." "That's a lie," Kate said loudly. The gavel cracked. "Mrs. Brennan, you will remain silent until called upon." But he just... Another outburst, and I'll hold you in contempt. Kate's jaw clenched. Sam, sitting behind her, touched her shoulder. "Steady." The lawyer continued. "We have testimony that Mrs. Brennan spent her entire savings, $500, on an impulsive purchase. She has no income beyond a failing ranch. She lives with a Chinese laborer in circumstances that can only be described as improper." "Sam Chen is my employee," Kate interrupted. "Not that it's anyone's business." "Mrs. Brennan." The gavel again. "Last warning." "Your Honor," the lawyer said smoothly. "We also have concerns about Mrs. Brennan's mental state. Her husband died 3 years ago under tragic circumstances. Some say she's never recovered. Buying 3 children she doesn't know, bankrupting herself, these are not the actions of a stable mind." Kate's hands balled into fists. Rose reached over and gripped one. "Furthermore," the lawyer went on, "Mr. Thornton offers a generous alternative. He'll take custody of the 2 older girls, providing them employment in his household, not the mines, as Mrs. Brennan falsely claimed. Light domestic work, proper supervision, moral guidance. The youngest can go to the territorial orphanage in Cheyenne." "No," Violet whimpered. The lawyer ignored her. "This solution serves everyone's interest. Mrs. Brennan is relieved of a burden she can't afford. The girls receive proper care. Mr. Thornton fulfills his Christian duty to help unfortunates." He sat down satisfied. Judge Blackwood looked at Kate. "Mrs. Brennan, do you have representation?" "No, Your Honor. Can't afford a lawyer." "Then you'll speak for yourself. Do you contest Mr. Thornton's petition?" "I contest every word of it." "On what grounds?" Kate stood. Her voice shook but held. "On the grounds that Magnus Thornton is a liar who's killed more children in his mines than cholera ever did. On the grounds that his generous offer is slavery with a smile. On the grounds that those 3 girls are human beings, not property to be divided up like furniture." The courtroom erupted. Judge Blackwood hammered for order. "Mrs. Brennan, those are serious accusations. They're true accusations. Do you have proof?" "I have witnesses." "Then call them. But I warn you, slander will not be tolerated in this courtroom." Kate turned to the gallery. "Dr. Elizabeth Hayes." Dr. Hayes stood and approached the witness stand. She was sworn in, hand steady on the Bible. "Dr. Hayes," Kate said, "you examined the Morrison sisters when I first brought them home. What did you find?" "Severe malnutrition, dehydration, bruises in various stages of healing, signs of prolonged neglect and possible abuse." "And their current condition?" "Healthy, well-fed, no new injuries. They've gained weight color in their faces. Medically speaking, they're thriving." Thornton's lawyer stood. "Objection. The doctor's personal feelings." "I'm stating medical facts," Dr. Hayes interrupted coldly. "Facts supported by examination notes I'd be happy to provide." "Your Honor, overruled. Continue, Mrs. Brennan." Kate felt a tiny spark of hope. "Dr. Hayes, in your medical opinion, are these girls better off with me or in Mr. Thornton's custody?" "With you, unquestionably." "How can you be certain?" "Because I've treated 6 children who worked in Thornton's mines. 2 died. The others are permanently damaged lungs, ruined bodies broken. The youngest was 10 years old." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Thornton shot to his feet. "Your Honor, this is irrelevant." "It's entirely relevant," Kate fired back. "You want custody of these girls to put them in the same conditions that killed their father. James Morrison's death was an accident. Was it, or was it caused by safety violations you ignored because fixing them cost money?" Judge Blackwood's gavel cracked like thunder. "That's enough. Both of you." Silence fell. The judge's face was unreadable. "Mrs. Brennan, do you have other witnesses?" "Yes, Your Honor. Reverend Joshua Whitmore." The Reverend approached, visibly trembling. He took the oath. "Reverend," Kate said gently, "how long have you served this community?" 15 years. "In that time, have you seen Mr. Thornton's Christian charity in action?" Whitmore swallowed hard. "I've seen his donations to the church." "That's not what I asked." The Reverend looked at Thornton, then at the 3 girls. Something in his face changed. "No," he said quietly. "I haven't seen charity. I've seen money used to buy silence. I've presided over funerals for children who died in his mines. I've blessed graves of men who challenged him and died in convenient accidents. I've taken his blood money and told myself it was for the church's good." His voice broke. "I've been a coward, but I won't be one today. Those girls are safe with Kate Brennan. They're loved. They're thriving. Taking them from her would be a sin against God and man." Thornton's face went dark red. "You hypocritical—" "Mr. Thornton," Judge Blackwood warned. "Control yourself." Kate called Mary Alice Cooper next. The saloon owner spoke plainly about the girls she'd sheltered who'd escaped Thornton's mines. Then old Mrs. Henderson testified about the Morrison family, about James's warnings before the cave-in, about how Anna had died of grief. One by one, Kate's witnesses painted a picture that Thornton couldn't argue away. But he tried. His lawyer called Sheriff Willis. "Sheriff," the lawyer said smoothly, "you've investigated Mrs. Brennan's household. What did you find?" "Irregular circumstances," Willis said. "A widow living with a Chinese man and 3 young girls. Improper by any standard." "Did you observe any signs of mistreatment?" "Not physical. But propriety matters. A woman alone with a Chinaman people talk. People are bigots, Kate said sharply. Mrs. Brennan, the gavel. But the damage was done. Sam's face was stone, but Kate saw the hurt in his eyes. Thornton's lawyer continued. Sheriff, in your professional opinion, is Mrs. Brennan's home suitable for children? That's for the judge to decide, but I have concerns. What kind of concerns? Financial, mainly. Brennan Ranch is struggling. They're behind on property taxes. Winter's coming and they don't have adequate provisions. Those girls might starve before spring. Kate's stomach dropped. The taxes. God, she'd forgotten about the taxes. How much is owed? Judge Blackwood asked. $300. Due in 2 weeks. The judge looked at Kate. Can you pay it? Kate's mouth went dry. I'm working on it. That's not an answer. I spent everything I had saving those girls, but I'll find the money. I'll sell cattle, take loans. From whom? Thornton asked mockingly. I own the bank. Nobody else will lend to you. Then I'll figure something else out. Face it, Mrs. Brennan, you can't afford them. You gambled and lost. I didn't lose anything. Those girls are alive, healthy, safe. For now. But winter's coming. You're broke. Your ranch is failing. How long before you can't feed them, before they freeze because you can't afford firewood? Kate had no answer. Judge Blackwood leaned back. Mrs. Brennan, I appreciate your passion, but Mr. Thornton raises valid concerns. Resources matter. Good intentions don't feed children. Your Honor. I haven't finished. However, Dr. Hayes's testimony troubles me. If even half of what she said is true about conditions in Mr. Thornton's enterprises. Lies and slander, Thornton interrupted. Are they, because I can order an investigation? Thornton's confidence flickered. That won't be necessary. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it's long overdue. The judge's eyes were cold. I've heard whispers for years. Deaths, accidents, convenient disappearances. I've ignored them because I had no proof, but Dr. Hayes's testimony is proof. Your Honor, with respect, one doctor's opinion is medical evidence, documented, sworn under oath. Judge Blackwood looked at Kate. Mrs. Brennan, can you pay your taxes? I'll find a way. Not good enough. I need certainty. Kate's mind raced. There was no way. No money, no loans, no options. Your Honor, a voice called from the back. I'll pay it. Everyone turned. Deputy Harrison stood. I'll pay Mrs. Brennan's taxes. $300. The courtroom exploded. Deputy Harrison! Sheriff Willis roared. Sit down. No, sir, I won't. Harrison's voice shook but held. I've stood by too long while this town let evil prosper. Mrs. Brennan's right. Those girls are better off with her. And I'll pay what's needed to prove it. You don't have that kind of money, the sheriff snarled. I do. Inheritance from my mother. Been saving it. Harrison looked at Kate. It's yours if you need it. Kate's eyes burned. I can't accept. You can and will. Consider it payment for my cowardice these past 3 years. Judge Blackwood studied Harrison. You're willing to stake your savings on this woman's integrity? Yes, Your Honor. She's got more integrity than anyone in this courtroom. The judge's lips twitched, almost a smile. Anyone else wish to contribute? I'll give $50, Dr. Hayes called. 75, Mary Alice added. I have 100, Reverend Whitmore said. More voices joined. Farmers, shopkeepers, people Kate barely knew. Within minutes, they'd pledged over $600. Thornton's face went purple. This is absurd. They're buying a verdict. No, Judge Blackwood said slowly. They're supporting their neighbor, something you clearly know nothing about, Mr. Thornton. Your Honor, I must protest. Protest all you like, but I've heard enough. The judge turned to the three girls. Rose, Lily, Violet, Morrison, approach the bench. The girls looked at Kate, terrified. She nodded. They walked forward, holding hands. Judge Blackwood's stern face softened slightly. Rose, you're the eldest. I need to ask you a question, and I need you to answer honestly. Do you want to stay with Mrs. Brennan? Rose's voice was barely audible. Yes, sir. Why? Because she's the first person who treated us like people instead of problems. And if I rule, you must go with Mr. Thornton. Rose's chin came up. Then you'll be sending us to die. And you'll know it. And you'll have to live with that. Silence. The judge looked at Lily. And you? Mrs. Brennan lets me draw. She says my gift matters. Nobody ever said that before. Violet? The youngest girl's eyes filled with tears. She gave me back my name. Mr. Thornton said names didn't matter. But Mama and Papa gave me mine. It's all I have left of them. Judge Blackwood was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. I've been a judge for 20 years. I've seen a lot of cases. Most are simple, clear right, clear wrong. But some cases test what we believe about justice, about what law is supposed to serve. He looked at Thornton. Mr. Thornton, your petition is denied. Custody of the Morrison sisters remains with Catherine Brennan. The courtroom erupted. Cheers from some, angry shouts from others. This is an outrage, Thornton roared. I'll appeal to the territorial governor. Appeal all you want, but I'm also ordering a full investigation into your mining operations. Labor practices, safety standards, cause of deaths. Everything. The judge's voice was iron. If I find you've been negligent, if children have died because you chose profit over safety, I'll see you in prison. Thornton's face went white. You can't. I can. I should have done it years ago. Judge Blackwood stood. This hearing is adjourned. The gavel fell. Kate couldn't breathe, couldn't move. They'd won. Against all odds, they'd won. Rose threw her arms around Kate, sobbing. Lily and Violet joined the four of them, clinging together. Thank you, Rose whispered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kate held them tight, tears streaming down her face. You're safe now. I promise. You're safe. But even as she said it, she saw Thornton's face across the courtroom. The rage there promised this wasn't over. They left the courthouse to cheers and jeers mixed together. Deputy Harrison caught up with them. Mrs. Brennan, about the money. I'll pay you back. Every cent, I swear it. Not asking you to, just asking you to keep those girls safe. I will. On my life, I will. Sam brought the wagon around. They loaded in quickly, wanting to escape the crowd, but before they could leave, Thornton appeared. Enjoy your victory, Mrs. Brennan. It won't last. Is that another threat? It's a promise. You think you've won? You've won nothing. Those girls will be mine eventually, one way or another. Sam's hand moved toward his rifle. Kate stopped him. You're wrong, Thornton. They're not property. They're not things you can own. They're free. Nobody's free. Not in this territory. Not while I still breathe. Then maybe you should stop breathing. The words hung in the air, dangerous and electric. Thornton smiled coldly. Was that a threat, Mrs. Brennan, in front of witnesses? Kate forced herself to calm. It was observation. Men like you always fall. Question is whether you take others with you. I'll take you, that's certain. He walked away. Rose was shaking. He meant it. He's going to kill us. No, Kate said firmly. He's going to try. There's a difference. They rode home in tense silence. The victory felt hollow now, poisoned by Thornton's promise. At the ranch, Sam checked every lock, every window. Kate loaded her rifle and set it by the door. What do we do now? Lily asked. We live. Kate said. "We work. We keep going. For how long? As long as it takes." That night, Kate sat on the porch keeping watch. Sam joined her. "He'll come," Sam said quietly. "Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but he'll come. Let him." "Kate, you're one woman with a rifle. He's got money men the law." "He doesn't have the law, not anymore. Judge Blackwood ruled against him." "One ruling doesn't change 20 years of corruption." "No, but it's a start." Inside, the girls were finally asleep, exhausted from the day, from fear, from relief. Kate watched the darkness and thought about Robert, about how he'd fought Thornton and died for it, about how she'd promised herself she'd never make the same mistake. But here she was, in the exact same position, facing the same enemy, risking the same fate. The difference was, this time, she wasn't fighting alone. This time, she had something worth dying for. The wind picked up, carrying the smell of coming winter. Frost would be here soon. Then snow. Then the brutal Wyoming cold that killed the weak and unprepared. Kate had 2 weeks to prepare for winter. 2 weeks to shore up defenses. 2 weeks before Thornton made his next move. It wasn't enough time, but it was the time she had. She'd make it work. She had to. Because 3 girls were sleeping inside, finally safe, finally home. And Kate Brennan didn't break promises. Not anymore. 3 days of quiet felt like a curse. Kate woke each morning expecting fire bullets, Thornton's men riding in with torches. Instead, nothing. Just silence and the ordinary sounds of ranch life. It made her more nervous than threats would have. "He's planning something," she told Sam on the 4th morning. They were mending fence in the north pasture, the girls visible in the distance gathering firewood. "Course he is. Question is what? And when?" Sam hammered a post into frozen ground. "Could be he's backing off. Judge's investigation has teeth. Maybe Thornton's smart enough to know when he's beat." "You believe that?" "No, but I'm trying to." A rider appeared on the eastern ridge. Kate's hand went to her rifle. "Easy," Sam said. "That's Deputy Harrison." Harrison rode up fast, his horse lathered. "Mrs. Brennan, you need to hear this." "What happened?" "Judge Blackwood's dead." Kate's blood went cold. "How?" "Fell down the courthouse stairs last night. Broke his neck." Harrison's voice was tight. "Sheriff's calling it an accident." "It wasn't an accident." "No, it wasn't." Harrison dismounted. "New judge arrives tomorrow. Name's Sterling. He's from back east, appointed by the territorial governor, and the governor is Thornton's brother-in-law." Kate closed her eyes. So the investigation dies with Blackwood. Worse. Sterling's first order of business is reviewing Blackwood's recent rulings, including yours. He can't overturn it. We won fair. Fair doesn't matter if the new judge is bought. Harrison looked sick. "I'm sorry. I thought winning the hearing meant something, but Thornton just changed the game." Kate's hands clenched into fists. "When does Sterling review the case?" "Week from today. He's giving you notice to appear with the girls." "And if I don't?" "Federal marshals. Thornton's already requested them." Sam spat on the ground. "So we're back where we started." "Worse than where we started," Kate said quietly. "Now Thornton knows we'll fight. He won't underestimate us again." After Harrison left, Kate called the girls in from their work. They gathered in the kitchen, faces worried. "What's wrong?" Rose asked. Kate told them everything. Judge Blackwood's death, the new judge, the upcoming review. She didn't sugarcoat it. When she finished, Violet was crying. Lily looked numb. Rose's face was stone. "So we lost," Rose said flatly. "All that fighting, all those people testifying, and we lost anyway." "We haven't lost yet. But we will. Men like Thornton always win." "Not always." "Name one time they didn't." Kate had no answer. Rose stood. "I won't let my sisters go to his mines. I'll kill them myself first. Quick and painless. Better than slow death underground. Rose? I mean it. Rose's voice didn't waver. I've thought about it. How I'd do it. Laudanum in their food, maybe. They'd just go to sleep. Wouldn't feel anything. Kate grabbed Rose's shoulders. You listen to me. Nobody's dying. Nobody's going to Thornton's mines. We'll figure this out. How we can't beat him. Nobody can. Then we'll run. The words hung in the air. Sam turned from the stove. Run where he owns this territory. Governor's his family. You go north, you hit his mining operations. South his cattle ranches. East or west doesn't matter. His influence spreads for 500 miles. Then we go 600 miles. 1,000 if we have to. Kate, you can't abandon your ranch. It's all you have left of Robert. Robert's dead. These girls are alive. I choose the living. Rose stared at her. You'd give up everything. Your home, your land, your husband's legacy. In a heartbeat. Something cracked in Rose's face. She started crying real tears, not the quiet, hopeless kind. Nobody's ever chosen us before. Nobody. Kate pulled her close. I'm choosing you now, all three of you, whatever it costs. Even your life. Even that. Sam cleared his throat. Kate, running's not a plan. It's desperation. You have a better idea. Fight. We tried fighting. We won and it meant nothing. Then we fight different. Sam's eyes were hard. Thornton wants to play dirty. We play dirtier. What are you suggesting? That mine investigation Blackwood ordered the one that dies with him. Maybe we make sure it doesn't die. Maybe we find evidence ourselves. Real evidence. The kind that can't be ignored even by a bought judge. Kate's mind raced. The mines are guarded. We'd never get in. Who said anything about getting in? We talk to the workers, the survivors. Get their stories, document everything. Then we take it straight to the territorial governor. Even Thornton can't suppress dozens of testimonies. The governor's his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law who's up for re-election next year, who can't afford a scandal about dead children. Sam's voice was urgent. It's risky, but it's a chance. Rose wiped her eyes. I'll help. I know people who worked in the mines, families who lost children. You're not going anywhere near Thornton, Kate said firmly. You can't protect me from this. I'm already in it. Rose's jaw set. Besides, they'll talk to me. I'm James Morrison's daughter. They knew my papa. They'll tell me things they won't tell you. She was right. Kate hated it, but Rose was right. Fine. But you don't go alone. Sam goes with you, and you stay in public places. If Thornton's men show up, you run. I'm not a coward. Running's not cowardice, it's survival. Learn the difference. They spent the rest of the day planning. Sam would take Rose into town tomorrow, talk to families quietly. Kate would stay with Lily and Violet, fortify the ranch, prepare for the worst. That night, Kate couldn't sleep. She walked the property line, rifle in hand, watching for threats. She found Lily sitting by the creek in the moonlight sketchbook in her lap. You should be in bed, Kate said gently. Can't sleep. Lily showed her the sketch, the ranch house smoke rising from the chimney light in the windows. I wanted to remember what it looks like, in case we have to leave. Kate's throat tightened. We might not have to. But we might. And I want to remember the only place that ever felt like home. Lily, I swear to you. Don't swear. Don't promise. Lily's voice was older than 11. Promises break, people die, homes burn. I've learned that already. Then what do you believe in? Lily looked at the sketch. This moment. Right now. You and me by this creek under these stars. That's real. That's true. Everything else is just hope. Kate sat beside her. Hope's not nothing. Hope's dangerous. It makes you think tomorrow will be better. Then tomorrow comes, and it's worse. Sometimes tomorrow is better. Not in my life. Kate had no answer for that. The girl had seen too much truth to believe in lies. They sat in silence until Lily finally went inside to bed. Kate stayed by the creek thinking about what the girl had said, about hope being dangerous, about promises breaking. Maybe she was right. Maybe Kate was a fool for believing they could win this. But fools had won before. Against worse odds, against stronger enemies. Kate had to believe that. Because without belief, there was only surrender. And she'd done enough surrendering for one lifetime. The next morning, Sam and Rose left for town before dawn. Kate watched them go with dread in her stomach. "They'll be fine," Violet said quietly. She was standing beside Kate, small and serious. "How do you know?" "Rose is smart, and Sam's strong. They'll come back." Kate wished she had that certainty. The day crawled past. Kate kept busy reinforcing the barn door, checking ammunition, drilling Lily and Violet on what to do if strangers came. Run to the root cellar. Hide. Don't come out until Kate or Sam calls the all clear. "What if you don't call?" Lily asked. "Then you wait until dark and run to Dr. Hayes's house. She'll hide you." "For how long?" "As long as it takes." Afternoon came. Then evening. Still no sign of Sam and Rose. Kate paced the porch, rifle ready. Lily and Violet huddled inside pretending to read. Finally at dusk, 2 horses appeared. Kate's relief lasted exactly 3 seconds, because there were 3 people: Sam, Rose, and someone else. A boy, maybe 17, rail-thin, coughing hard. "Found him collapsed outside the mine," Sam explained, helping the boy down. "Name's Thomas. He's got lung sickness." Kate saw the blood on the boy's lips. Miner's consumption. She'd seen it before. "Get him inside. Lily, boil water. Violet, get blankets." They carried Thomas to the spare bed. Up close, he looked half dead already. Hollow cheeks, skin like paper eyes that had seen hell. "How long were you in the mines?" Kate asked gently. 2 years. His voice was a rasp. "Since I was 15. My pa died. Ma couldn't feed us all. Sold me and my brother to Thornton." "Where's your brother now?" Thomas's eyes filled with tears. "Died last month. Cave-in. Thornton said it was his fault for being careless. Didn't even pay for a coffin." Rose gripped Kate's arm. "Tell her the rest." Thomas coughed blood into a rag. "There's others. Kids younger than me. Some as young as 8. Thornton brings them in at night so nobody sees. Works them 20 hours a day. Feeds them scraps. Beats them if they slow down." "How many?" 15, maybe 20. Hard to count in the dark." Kate's stomach turned. Why haven't people talked? Why hasn't anyone stopped this? Fear. Thomas's voice was bitter. "Thornton owns everything. You speak up, you disappear. Your family loses their home, their jobs. He destroys you." "Not anymore," Kate said firmly. "You're safe here, and you're going to testify." "I can't. I'm dying anyway. What's the point?" "The point is those other kids, the ones still down there. You can save them." Thomas closed his eyes. "I'm scared." "We're all scared, but we're doing it anyway." Over the next 3 days, more people came. Miners who'd escaped, families who'd lost children. Each one with a story, each story worse than the last. Kate documented everything. Names, dates, deaths. Sam sketched maps of the mine tunnels, showing where accidents happened, where safety violations were worst. Rose interviewed families, getting details Thornton's lawyers couldn't refute. By the end of the week, they had testimonies from 43 people. Evidence of 62 deaths in the past 5 years. Proof of child labor, unsafe conditions, deliberate negligence. "This is enough," Sam said. "We take this to the governor." "The governor won't care," Rose said. "He's Thornton's family." "Then we go over his head. Territorial newspapers, federal authorities. Someone will listen." But that night, everything changed. Kate woke to the smell of smoke. She was out of bed in seconds, grabbing her rifle. Fire. Sam burst from the loft. Where? The barn. They ran outside. The barn was engulfed flames, shooting 30 feet high. The horses were screaming. Get them out! Kate shouted. Sam ran toward the barn doors. Kate went for the girls. Inside the house, Rose was already herding Lily and Violet toward the back door. Someone's out front, Rose hissed. I saw them. Kate's blood went cold. This wasn't just fire. This was an attack. Root cellar. Now. All three of you. But now. The girls ran. Kate took position at the front window. 6 men on horses silhouetted by the burning barn, all armed. The leader called out, Mrs. Brennan, send out the girls and we'll leave peaceful. Kate recognized the voice. Sheriff Willis. Go to hell, Willis. Last chance, give us the girls or we take them. You'll have to kill me first. That can be arranged. Gunfire erupted. Kate dropped bullets, shattering the window above her head. She fired back blind, heard a man scream. Sam appeared at the side door, covered in soot. Horses are out, but the barn's gone. The girls? Root cellar. I checked. More gunfire. Kate reloaded, fired again. Hit a horse. The animal went down, throwing its rider. We can't hold them off forever, Sam said. Don't need forever. Just need dawn. That's 4 hours away. Then we hold 4 hours. But bullets were eating through the walls. The men outside were moving closer, using the burning barn as cover. They're going to burn us out, Sam said. Kate's mind raced. They had maybe 20 rounds left. 6 men outside, probably more coming. The barn was already gone. The house would be next. They were going to lose. Then hoofbeats. Lots of them. Kate risked a look. A dozen riders coming fast from the east. More of Thornton's men, Sam said grimly. But the new riders opened fire on the sheriff's group. What the hell? Kate breathed. The fight was brief and brutal. Thornton's men scattered, leaving 2 dead. The new riders approached the house carefully. Mrs. Brennan, hold your fire, we're friends. Kate didn't lower her rifle. Identify yourself. Deputy Harrison, I brought help. Kate opened the door cautiously. Harrison dismounted, followed by 11 others, townspeople, farmers, even the owner of the general store. What are you doing here? Kate asked. Couldn't let them burn you out. Harrison's face was grim. Word got around what you were doing, collecting testimonies. People wanted to help. You could die for this. We're already dying, slowly under Thornton's boot. Least this way we go down fighting. Kate's eyes burned. Thank you. Don't thank us yet. That was just the sheriff's crew. Thornton's got more men. They'll be back before dawn. Then we'll be ready. They spent the next hour preparing, reinforcing the house, posting lookouts, distributing ammunition. The girls came up from the root cellar, scared but alive. Rose saw the burned barn and started crying. He's going to take everything. Everything we have. He can't take what matters, Kate said. He can't take us. Can't he? He took Papa. He took Mama. He takes everyone eventually. Kate grabbed Rose's shoulders. Listen to me. Your Papa fought Thornton and died. But he died standing up. He died mattering. That's not nothing. It's not enough either. Maybe not, but it's what we've got. Dawn came cold and gray. The burned barn smoldered, sending up black smoke. The defenders, Kate, Sam, and 12 townspeople, were exhausted but ready. Thomas, the dying miner, insisted on standing guard despite his condition. I can still shoot, he wheezed. Let me do something that matters. At 8 o'clock they came. 20 men, maybe more, led by Thornton himself. He rode up to shouting distance and stopped. Mrs. Brennan, I'm here under authority of the territorial government. You're harboring stolen property, specifically 3 miners who are wards of the state. Surrender them immediately. They're not property, Kate shouted back. They're human beings. The law says otherwise. You have 1 minute to comply or we're coming in. Kate looked at the men beside her. Harrison, Sam, store owner Peterson, Farmer Cooper, Reverend Whitmore holding a rifle like it was a snake. They were all going to die. 45 seconds. Kate closed her eyes, thought about Robert, about promises made and broken, about 3 girls who deserved better than this world gave them. 30 seconds. She made her decision. Sam, take the girls, out the back. Horses are in the north pasture. Kate, do it. Run. Don't stop until you hit the Montana border. I'm not leaving you. You're not leaving them. Kate's voice broke. Please, save them. That's all that matters. Sam's jaw clenched. You're a damn fool, Kate Brennan. I know. Now go. He went. Kate stood alone on the porch, rifle ready. Thornton smiled. Time's up. His men advanced. Kate raised her rifle. This was it. The end she'd been expecting since that day at the auction. The price of doing right in a world that rewarded wrong. Robert had paid it. Now she would too. But 3 girls would live, would run, would have a chance. That was enough. Thornton's men were 30 yards away. 20, 10. Kate sighted down her rifle at Thornton's chest. If she was dying, she was taking him with her. She started to squeeze the trigger. Then the thunder came. Not thunder. Hoofbeats. Dozens of them. Everyone turned. From the west, a cavalry troop. 20 soldiers in blue led by a captain with snow-white hair. From the east, more riders. 50, 60 people. Townspeople. Miners. Families. All armed. From the south, a wagon. Dr. Hayes driving, carrying something large covered with canvas. They surrounded Thornton's men. The cavalry captain rode forward. Magnus Thornton. Thornton's face went white. Who the hell are you? Captain James Blackwood, U.S. Army. And that was my brother you murdered. I don't know what. My brother was Judge Cornelius Blackwood. He died investigating your crimes, which makes this personal. The captain's voice was ice. I'm placing you under arrest for murder, child endangerment, labor violations, and about 40 other charges. Federal charges, which means your bought judges can't save you. Dr. Hayes climbed down from her wagon and pulled back the canvas. Evidence. Boxes of it. Testimonies, photographs, medical records. Everything Kate and Sam had collected, plus more that Dr. Hayes had gathered secretly. 3 years I've been documenting your crimes, Dr. Hayes said. Waiting for someone brave enough to stand up. Mrs. Brennan gave me that chance. Thornton looked around wildly. His men were backing away, unwilling to fight the army. The townspeople were closing in, faces hard with years of suppressed rage. You can't do this, Thornton whispered. I own this territory. You owned it, Captain Blackwood corrected. Past tense. As of now, you own nothing but a cell. Soldiers moved in, shackling Thornton. He fought screaming threats and curses. They dragged him away. Kate stood on her porch, unable to move, unable to believe what just happened. Deputy Harrison approached. Mrs. Brennan, the girls. Sam took them. They're running. Maybe call them back. Kate stumbled to the north pasture. Sam was saddling horses, the girls already mounted. Kate, Sam called. What happened? We heard. It's over. Kate's voice shook. Thornton's arrested. Federal charges. It's over. Rose slid off her horse and ran to Kate, followed by her sisters. They crashed into her, all crying, all holding on like drowning swimmers. We're safe, Violet whispered. You're safe. Really safe. Forever safe. Kate looked at the cavalry, at the townspeople, at the evidence that would bury Thornton. Yes, she said. Forever safe. Rose pulled back. What about the ranch? The barn's gone. You have nothing left. Kate looked at the 3 girls in front of her. Alive. Free. Home. I have everything, she said. The next 3 days felt like living in someone else's dream. Kate kept waiting to wake up to find Thornton still free, still hunting them. But he stayed locked in the territorial jail, awaiting federal trial. Captain Blackwood came to the ranch on the 3rd day. He stood looking at the burned barn face carved from stone. "My brother wrote me before he died," the captain said quietly. "Told me about your case, about 3 girls and a widow who wouldn't back down. He said if anything happened to him, I should come." "I'm sorry about your brother," Kate said. "Don't be sorry. Be glad. Cornelia spent 20 years compromising, bending, looking the other way. At the end, he finally did something that mattered. He died proud. That's more than most men get. It doesn't seem like enough. It never does." The captain turned to face her. "Mrs. Brennan, the federal trial will take time. Months, maybe a year. During that time, Thornton's lawyers will try everything. They'll attack you, the girls, anyone who testified. They'll dig up every piece of dirt they can find. Let them dig. They'll make your life hell. They already did. I survived." The captain almost smiled. "My brother was right about you. You're tougher than you look. I'm terrified every second. I just don't let it stop me anymore. That's what courage is." He handed her an envelope. "This is from the territorial government, compensation for the barn, and a stipend for taking care of the Morrison sisters. Legal guardianship papers are inside. You're their mother now in the eyes of the law." Kate's hands shook as she opened the envelope. Inside was a bank draft for $800 and legal documents making her the girl's official guardian. "I don't understand. The governor is Thornton's brother-in-law." "Was. Past tense. Governor resigned yesterday. Seems he didn't want his family's connection to Thornton's crimes examined too closely." The captain's voice was dry. Amazing how quickly rats abandon a sinking ship. After the captain left, Kate gathered the girls. They sat at the kitchen table, the legal papers spread out between them. "What does this mean?" Rose asked, staring at the documents. "It means you're mine, legally, officially. You're Catherine Brennan's daughters now." Violet started crying. Lily joined her. Even Rose's eyes were wet. "We have a mother again," Violet whispered. "You always had one. Now the law knows it too." Rose traced the signatures on the papers. "What about our real parents? Papa and Mama? Do we forget them?" "Never. They gave you life. They loved you. They'll always be your parents." Kate's throat tightened. "But they're gone. And I'm here. And I love you just as much. Is there room in your hearts for both?" Rose looked at her sisters, then back at Kate. "Yes, there's room." They spent that afternoon planning the new barn. Sam drew designs while the girls argued about where the horses should go, how big the hayloft needed to be. Normal family arguments, the kind Kate had thought she'd never have again. But that night, reality came calling. Deputy Harrison arrived after dark, looking sick. "Mrs. Brennan, there's been an incident." Kate's stomach dropped. "What kind of incident?" "Thomas. The boy who testified. He's dead." The girls gasped. Kate felt the world tilt. "How?" she managed. "Officially, his lung sickness. But he was getting better, the doctor said so. Then last night he took a bad turn. Died this morning." Harrison's voice was tight. "Someone visited him at the boarding house yesterday evening. Nobody knows who. After that he got worse fast." "Poison," Sam said flatly. "Can't prove it, but yeah, that's what I think too." Rose stood abruptly. "They killed him for talking, for testifying against Thornton." "We don't know that." "Yes, we do." Rose's voice cracked. "They killed him, and they'll kill the rest of us too. Everyone who spoke up, everyone who helped, we're all dead. Rose Thornton's in jail. So what? He's still rich. He still has men lawyers, people who owe him." Rose was shaking. "We're not safe. We'll never be safe. He'll kill us all." Kate grabbed Rose's shoulders. "Listen to me. Thomas was sick. He was dying already. Maybe it was natural. You don't believe that." Kate didn't. But she needed Rose to stay calm, needed all 3 girls to not fracture into panic. "Whether I believe it or not doesn't matter. What matters is, we keep going. We don't let fear win. Fear keeps you alive. No, fear keeps you breathing. There's a difference. Kate softened her voice. Rose, I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But if we run now, if we hide, Thornton wins even from his cell. We can't let that happen. Rose pulled away. Easy for you to say. You're not a child he wants to own. She ran upstairs. Kate heard the bedroom door slam. She's right to be scared, Sam said quietly. If Thomas was murdered, we're all targets. Then we protect each other. Post guards travel in groups, stay vigilant. For how long until the trial? That's months away. Then months, however long it takes. But Kate knew Sam was right. They couldn't live like this forever. Fear wasn't sustainable. Eventually, something would break. The next morning, Kate found Rose already awake, sitting on the porch with Kate's rifle across her lap. Been there all night? Kate asked. Couldn't sleep. Kept thinking someone would come. Kate sat beside her. Rose, I need to tell you something. About your father. Rose tensed. What about him? He came to me once. About 6 months before he died. He'd found evidence of safety violations in Thornton's mine, rotted support beams, insufficient ventilation. He wanted my help getting it to the territorial authorities. What did you do? Kate's shame was heavy. Nothing. I told him to be careful to not make waves. I was scared of Thornton, scared of losing the ranch. So I did nothing. Rose's knuckles went white on the rifle. You could have stopped it. You could have saved him. Yes. But you didn't. No, I didn't. And I've lived with that guilt every day since. Kate forced herself to meet Rose's eyes. I can't undo that. I can't bring your father back. But I can tell you why I'm fighting now. Why I won't back down no matter how scared I am. Why? Because I already know what it costs to do nothing. I watched your father die. I watched your family destroyed. I watched and did nothing, and it hollowed me out. Kate's voice broke. I won't survive doing nothing again. I'd rather die fighting than live knowing I could have helped and didn't. Rose was quiet for a long time. Then, Papa always said cowards die 1,000 deaths. Brave people die only once. Your father was a wise man. He was a dead man. Wisdom didn't save him. No, but it meant something. He stood up. He mattered. That's not nothing. Rose leaned her head on Kate's shoulder. I miss him. I miss them both so much. I know, honey. I know. They sat together as the sun rose, two people bound by loss and the desperate hope that fighting mattered. Later that morning, Dr. Hayes arrived with news. Judge Sterling's been recalled. What? Kate stood so fast her chair fell. Why? Seems his connection to Thornton's family became public knowledge. Federal authorities questioned his impartiality. He's been replaced by Judge Margaret Henderson from Colorado. Henderson, any relation to Mrs. Henderson, her daughter. And from what I hear, Judge Henderson has very strong opinions about child labor and corruption. Dr. Hayes smiled grimly. Thornton's lawyers tried to block her appointment. That should tell you everything. Kate felt hope kindle. Dangerous, fragile hope. When does she arrive? Next week. She wants to review all evidence before the federal trial. That includes interviewing the girls. Rose, who'd been listening, spoke up. We'll tell her everything, every detail. She'll believe us, won't she? She'll listen. That's more than most judges do. Dr. Hayes looked at Kate. But there's something else. Thomas's death is being investigated. The boarding house keeper came forward. She saw the man who visited him. Who was it? One of Thornton's foremen, man named Sykes. He's disappeared. Probably ran when he realized Thomas died. So they did kill him. Can't prove it without Sykes, but the investigation's ongoing. If they find him, if he talks, it's more charges against Thornton. After Dr. Hayes left, Kate found herself thinking about Thomas, a boy who'd survived 2 years in hell, who'd escaped only to be murdered for telling the truth. His death should have broken her, should have made her give up. Instead, it made her angry. That evening, she gathered everyone, Sam, the three girls, Deputy Harrison, who'd come by to check on them. "We're not hiding anymore," Kate announced. "We're going on the offensive." "What does that mean?" Harrison asked warily. "It means we find every person who worked in Thornton's mines, every family who lost someone. We document everything: photos, testimonies, medical records. We build a case so strong that no lawyer, no bought judge, no amount of money can tear it down." "Kate, that's dangerous. Everything's dangerous. Hiding's dangerous. Running's dangerous. Doing nothing killed my husband and Thomas, and God knows how many others. I'm done with dangerous passivity. Time for dangerous action." Sam nodded slowly. "How many people are we talking about? 50, 100, however many it takes. That'll take weeks. Then we have weeks. Judge Henderson doesn't arrive for 7 days. We use that time." Rose stood. "I'll help. I know most of the families. They'll talk to me." "Rose, I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. I'm telling. This is for Papa, for Thomas, for every kid still trapped in those mines." Rose's voice was steel. "I'm doing this." Kate saw herself in Rose. The same anger, the same desperate need to make suffering mean something. She couldn't stop the girl any more than Robert could have stopped her. "All right. But you don't go anywhere alone. Sam or Harrison goes with you, always." They spent the next week in a blur of activity. Rose and Harrison visited families collecting stories. Sam photographed the mine entrances, the company housing the graveyard, where child workers were buried in unmarked graves. Dr. Hayes examined survivors, documenting injuries and illnesses. Kate coordinated everything, keeping lists, organizing testimonies, making sure every detail was recorded. Lily drew maps showing where accidents happened. Even Violet helped, gentle presence comforting traumatized children too scared to speak to adults. By the time Judge Henderson arrived, they had testimonies from 68 people. Photographs of conditions that made grown men weep. Medical evidence of crimes that couldn't be explained away. Judge Henderson was 50-something, gray hair, severe eyes that missed nothing. She spent 3 days reviewing evidence in the courthouse, asking questions, challenging inconsistencies. On the 4th day, she summoned Kate and the girls to her chambers. "Mrs. Brennan," the judge said, "I've reviewed your case thoroughly. I've read the testimonies, examined the evidence, spoken to witnesses." Kate's heart pounded. And I'm appalled, not just by Magnus Thornton's crimes, but by how long the territory allowed them to continue. Judge Henderson's voice was ice. 20 years. 20 years of children dying, families destroyed, justice ignored. And why money? Power. Corruption so deep it rotted everything it touched. "Yes, ma'am?" "You exposed it. You and these 3 girls, and a handful of brave souls, stood up when everyone else looked away." The judge looked at Rose, Lily, and Violet. "Do you understand what you've done?" Rose spoke carefully. "We told the truth. You changed history. Because of you, territorial law is being rewritten. Child labor will be regulated. Mine safety will be enforced. And men like Magnus Thornton will finally face consequences." "Will he hang?" Violet asked quietly. Judge Henderson's expression softened. "That's for a jury to decide. But between you and me, yes. I believe he will. The evidence is overwhelming." "Good," Violet said simply. The judge turned to Kate. "Mrs. Brennan, custody of the Morrison sisters is legally yours, but I wanted to ask them directly. Rose, Lily, Violet, do you want to stay with Kate Brennan? Is she the mother you choose?" The girls looked at each other, silent conversation passing between them. Then Rose spoke for all 3. "She's not replacing Mama. Nobody could. But she's our family now. She fought for us when nobody else would. She gave us a home, a future, a chance to matter." Rose's voice shook. "Yes, Your Honor. We choose Kate Brennan. We'll always choose her." Kate couldn't stop the tears. Judge Henderson handed her a handkerchief. Then it's settled. Guardianship is permanent and irrevocable. The judge stood. Mrs. Brennan, you've done something remarkable. You've proven that one person's courage can spark a revolution. Don't ever forget that. After they left the courthouse, Rose turned to Kate. Did we really change history? Or was the judge just being nice? You changed it, Deputy Harrison said. He'd been waiting outside. Whole territories talking. Thornton's allies are scrambling, trying to distance themselves. His businesses are being investigated. His property seized. You took down an empire. We didn't do it alone, Kate said. No, but you started it. That's what matters. That night the ranch felt different, lighter somehow. The fear that had pressed down on them for weeks had lifted slightly. They gathered for dinner. Kate, Sam, the three girls, and Harrison, who'd become such a fixture they'd set a permanent place for him. The conversation was easy, full of small jokes and plans for tomorrow. After dinner, Rose helped Kate wash dishes while the others played cards in the living room. Kate, Rose said quietly, can I ask you something? Anything. Do you think Papa would be proud of me, of what I did? Kate set down the dish she was washing. Rose, your father would be so proud he'd burst. You did what he tried to do. You finished what he started. There's no greater honor than that. I wish he could see it. Maybe he can. Maybe he's watching right now, smiling, telling your mama about his brave daughter who wouldn't quit. Rose wiped her eyes. I want to believe that. Then believe it. Faith doesn't need proof. It just needs hope. They finished the dishes in comfortable silence. Through the window, Kate could see the land that had cost her everything and given her everything. The burned barn would be rebuilt. The ranch would survive. The girls would grow up free. 3 months later, Magnus Thornton's trial began. It lasted 6 weeks. The testimony was brutal, survivor after survivor, describing conditions in the mines, families explaining how their children died, doctors presenting evidence of neglect and abuse. Thornton's lawyers fought hard. They attacked witnesses, questioned motives, tried to paint Thornton as a victim of circumstance and economic necessity. They argued that child labor was legal, that accidents were inevitable, that Thornton had done nothing worse than any other mine owner. But the evidence was too strong, the testimonies too numerous, the photographs too damning. The jury deliberated for 4 hours, guilty on all counts. Thornton screamed as they dragged him from the courtroom. He pointed at Kate, face purple with rage. You did this? You destroyed me. Kate stood. No, you destroyed yourself. I just made sure everyone saw it. Sentencing came a week later. Judge Henderson showed no mercy. Magnus Thornton, you have been found guilty of negligent homicide, child endangerment, labor violations, murder, and conspiracy. You exploited the vulnerable. You profited from suffering. You killed children and called it business. The judge's voice was granite. I hereby sentence you to death by hanging. May God have mercy on your soul, because this court has none. Thornton went white. His lawyers immediately filed appeals, but everyone knew they'd fail. The evidence was too strong. The crimes too heinous. He'd hang within the year. Kate felt no joy in it, just tired relief. Justice wasn't celebration. It was just setting things right. Outside the courthouse, reporters surrounded Kate. Questions flew from every direction. Mrs. Brennan, how does it feel to take down Magnus Thornton? What made you decide to fight? What message do you have for other women facing injustice? Kate looked at the crowd, at the faces watching her, waiting for wisdom or inspiration or something quotable. She thought about Robert, about Thomas, about every person who died because people looked away. I don't have a grand message, Kate said finally. I just saw 3 girls who needed help and decided I couldn't live with myself if I did nothing. That's all. I'm not special. I'm just a woman who got tired of being scared and decided to be brave instead. But you started a movement, a reporter pressed. Child labor laws are changing across the territory. Good. They should have changed 20 years ago. but better late than never. What's next for you and the Morrison sisters? Kate smiled. We go home. We rebuild our barn. We live our lives. We stop being defined by what we survived and start being defined by what we build. She pushed through the crowd and found the girls waiting by the wagon. They'd all attended the sentencing, wanting to see it through to the end. Is it really over? Lily asked. It's over, Kate confirmed. Violet threw her arms around Kate's waist. Can we go home now? I miss the horses. We can go home. They rode back to the ranch in comfortable silence. The land stretched out before them, endless and full of possibility. The new barn was half-built, rising from the ashes of the old. Neighbors had helped so many neighbors, people who'd been too scared to act before, but found courage after Kate showed them it was possible. At the ranch, Sam had dinner waiting. They ate together, the five of them, a makeshift family forged in fire and fear and desperate hope. After dinner, Rose pulled out a letter. This came while we were gone. It's from Judge Henderson. Kate opened it and read aloud. Dear Mrs. Brennan and the Morrison sisters, I wanted you to know that because of your courage, the territorial legislature has passed the Child Protection Act. Children under 14 cannot work in mines. All mines must meet new safety standards. Families who've lost children to industrial accidents will receive compensation. And perhaps most importantly, orphans can no longer be sold or transferred without court review and approval. This law will save thousands of lives. It exists because you refused to be silent. Because 3 girls and their chosen mother decided that justice mattered more than safety. History will remember Magnus Thornton as a monster, but history will also remember Catherine Brennan and the Morrison sisters as the heroes who stopped him. With deepest respect, Judge Margaret Henderson. Rose looked at Kate. We're heroes. We're survivors. That's better than heroes. Why? Because heroes are myths, survivors are real, and real people can inspire other real people to be brave. That night, Kate stood on the porch looking at the stars. Sam joined her, pipe in hand. You did it, Sam said quietly. We did it. No, you. I just helped. You're the one who saw those girls on that auction block and decided their lives mattered more than your safety. Kate was quiet for a moment. Sam, can I tell you something, the truth? Always. When I bought those girls, I wasn't thinking about justice or courage or any of that. I was thinking about Robert, about how he died fighting and I did nothing. I was so full of guilt and shame that I couldn't see straight. Her voice broke. I didn't save them to be noble. I saved them to save myself. Doesn't matter why you started. Only matters what you did. I don't feel like a hero. I feel like someone who finally stopped being a coward. Kate, you know what the difference between a coward and a hero is. What? Nothing. They feel exactly the same, terrified, uncertain, convinced they're going to fail. The only difference is the hero acts anyway. Kate looked at the stars and thought about Robert, about how he'd stood up to Thornton knowing it might kill him, about how he'd done it anyway because some things mattered more than survival. She finally understood. Not survival. Living. Inside, the girls were settling in for the night. Their voices drifted through the window, Lily reading aloud, Rose arguing about proper pronunciation, Violet laughing at both of them. The sounds of family, of home, of life, earned through fire and fear and refusal to quit. Kate had started with $500 and 3 desperate girls. She'd ended with a family, a revolution, and the knowledge that ordinary people could do extraordinary things when they decided courage mattered more than comfort. She'd lost her husband, her barn, nearly everything she owned, but she'd gained 3 daughters, a purpose, and the certain knowledge that when the moment came to choose between right and easy, she'd chosen right. That was enough. More than enough. That was everything. The wind carried the smell of new lumber from the half-built barn. Tomorrow they'd work on it again, neighbors helping neighbors, building something stronger than what burned. Kate Brennan had bought 3 sisters sold by their cruel uncle. What she built for them wasn't just safety or shelter or even justice. She built proof that one person's fury at injustice could light fires that burned down empires and warmed homes that would stand for generations. She built hope from ashes. She built family from strangers. She built a future from the ruins of the past, and in building all that, she'd rebuilt herself.